a roommate?
I don't. I saw that was reported. Unfortunately, JoJo's not living with me. Or fortunately. No, I'm just kidding. No, she just came and stayed with me, and all of a sudden we saw that we were living together, but she actually left and went home to Dallas yesterday.
Okay, because I was like, this is amazing. Talk about girl power, putting aside. I mean, you guys obviously had a great friendship, but it still takes something. Like, if it was real life, like for two girls to suddenly be good friends and they like dated the same guy, it's kind of crazy.
I know, you know, I always tell people you couldn't really understand why you become friends until you go on the show, because the concept's so weird. You're like, I would never be friends with someone who's dating the same guy, but when you only have each other, and like she's my roommate, and so you almost are able to like compartmentalize, okay, we're dating the same guy, but we have a different relationship with him, and we're friends now. So it's a very weird situation, and I'm aware of that, but I'm so happy for the friendships that have come out the show.
So going on a show like The Bachelor, do you feel like there's anything about reality TV that like really surprised you? Because I know there's so many elements that go into like keeping you guys on the edge of your seat when you're filming, and they always have like twists and turns. Yeah. Like, what was the most shocking thing about the experience of doing reality TV?
I mean, I think it was just the fact that like, no matter what you were doing, someone could hear you and see you at all times. Like,
that freaks me out.
Except for like being in the bathroom and sleeping. But when you're awake and like doing stuff, like you just had to be aware at all times that there were people listening, even if you couldn't see them, and like because you had a mic on. So I think it was getting used to that. And once you get used to it, you're like, you know what? Okay, I'm on a show. This is what I signed up for, and it's if you're not talking bad about someone, it shouldn't be a problem, you know.
That's a good point. I like if you look at it that way.
Yeah.
So moving forward, like, are you dating anyone now?
I'm not. I just moved up to LA, and I feel like dating's really hard here.
Girl, I live in LA, so you can be my friend. I'll take you out. We'll go do. It sucks. Dating is really hard in LA.
Weirdly, the concept of The Bachelor seems more normal than the dating apps to me at this point, because I'm like, well, at least you're actually like getting to know this one person without the distraction of social media or anything else going on. So I don't know, it's hard to date, but I am interested. I've gone on dates. It's just nothing that's stuck.
When they find out that you were on this show, like, does it scare them a little bit, or is it like what are the reactions usually?
One time I went out with a guy who had no idea, like did not know, and someone stopped me while we were going out, and they asked me for a picture, and he was like, and the guy was like, it was a guy, and he was like, my girlfriend and I love you on The Bachelor. And so we walk away, and the guy was like, wait, he was like, you're on The Bachelor? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, oh, I watched that. And I was like, oh, cool. And he's like, so did you get a rose? And I was like, I got a couple of them.
You got it down there.
Yeah. And he was like, how far did you make it? And I was like, the final two. And he like, we were crossing the street, and he stopped in the middle of the street, and he was like, what? But no.
Where did you meet? Did you meet him on a dating app or like randomly out?
I met him at a friend's house, so it was like a normal meeting.
Well, so speaking of, like, do you get fans ask you for pictures all the time now?
Yeah, I mean, if I'm in a big public place, I mean, even still, like, yeah, it's funny because I thought living in LA, people would be like, who cares, it's a reality show, versus, like, all these huge celebrities that live in LA. But I think there's this relatability that people feel they can come up and I'm, like, their friend. So it's really fun for me because people aren't, like, most of the time they come up and they're like, I feel like your best friend, and I'm like, I like that. It makes it a lot more comfortable for me.
Okay, so I felt like that when you posted the Instagram video of you at the T-Swift moment, because I was like, that's so something that would happen to me. Can you like clarify what happened there?
Okay, yeah, I would love to. So she was coming out, and there was like a couple little girls. She took a picture, and I was just like, Taylor, can I get a photo? And she turned and looked at me, and then she walked off. But it wasn't, I love her. Like, and even after that, I still love her so much. So for me, it was more like, it was funny. Like, I was almost like, well, it was almost like an honor or something. So I love Taylor Swift, and even though she may have ignored me, or maybe she didn't hear me, it's okay, all good. No bad blood.
Absolutely, yeah. I think like the last person I would want to have bad blood with is Taylor Swift.
Like, ever. After I posted, I'm like, should I take this down? Like,
no, I liked it. It was so relatable and genuine. I was like, that is a real moment that happened right there.
Yeah, it was like such a real moment of seeing like celebrity versus like reality star, like the correlations. But no, I mean, honestly, she probably just didn't hear me.
Okay, well, I want to know, because so many people that have been on this show, like, look at someone like Ali Fadowski. She did E! She was a reporter, and now she's like, you know, transformed into a whole thing. Tell me what you're doing now with your blog and YouTube, and like, what's your ultimate goal post-Bachelor life?
So I was really hesitant to start a blog just because I didn't know like how it would be received, because I've seen a lot of people try to do it and then it starts off with people being interested and then just kind of dies down. So I thought, what could I do that once I'm done being known as Becca from The Bachelor, that people are still interested in. And so I started thinking about ways I could do it and what I'm interested in and what people already ask me about. And so that's beauty, lifestyle, clothes, all that, but also I wanted to add an element of travel to it because I love traveling and almost take people on a trip with me, like this is where you should eat, this is where you should stay, there's this really cute place, and this is how much it'll cost to do it.
It's funny because while you're doing that and like doing all these like lifestyle things, you also paparazzi snapping photos. Is that weird? Like really surreal?
Yeah, I just saw they were like,
you guys were getting flowers. You're like in your little jean short shorts. I was like, I could be their third friend.
Well, I didn't know. My sister told me about it. So JoJo and I went and looked, and we were like, what the heck? Like, we didn't even see it. It was kind of bizarre, but
you seem so real. I love that. Like, stay how you are. And also, yeah, like literally in LA, it's all about like you have to have your tribe of women, and then the boys come later. And are you like looking to stay single? Or are you like now kind of like keeping an eye for a good long-term relationship?
Well, right now it's so funny because for a while I was like, oh my gosh, I want a date, I want a boyfriend. And now that I'm starting all this, and that if I'm going to be traveling a lot, I don't even know if I'm ready to take that on. So my thing is, if the right guy comes, it's going to happen whether it's now or later or whenever. So yeah.
Well, so nice to meet you. I hope to see you again soon. Thank you. You too.